Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Vormithrax, and this is episode 8 of our Let's Play for Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead. In this episode, it's just about nighttime, and we're going to do a quick run back down to those houses that we looted last episode. I was thinking about it in between episodes, and I want to grab just a few things from one of the houses, as well as fill up at least one of our containers with some water, so we can boil some water. We're showing a thirsty status, and I want to make sure we've got that taken care of. We might do a little bit more crafting during the evening, and or go exploring. I'm not sure which yet. We'll see what happens. Right now, looks like there's a lightning storm going on outside, and it's getting chilly, so we've got a couple of things going on. First thing I usually do is check my inventory. Looks pretty good. We've got a good amount of volume available, and I can see all of the tools that I usually want to see when I take off for a trip. So let's get moving. Turn off the auto mode. Alright. And you can see the lighted area around my character is shrinking. That's because it is now sunset. And getting pretty close to the house. Just keep working our way over that way. And now the light is really starting to disappear. We'll zoom in. Yep. Clouds cleared up, which helped our brightness a bit. Alright. These are a couple of things I wanted to grab. I'm going to grab the pillows and blankets. And let's grab the water before I start to do anything else. Alright. I'm going to hit Shift. Actually, we're going to hit E to examine. I'm going to examine the toilet, and it gives us some options. I'm going to choose the pour into a container, and we're going to pour it into the glass jar. If I check my inventory now, it's going to show the glass jar has 2 units of water in it. I'm going to leave the plastic bottle empty, because that's what we're going to pour the water into once we boil it. But that should get us through the evening, so that's all I needed to do here for the moment. I am going to wield my crowbar, and I'm going to smash some furniture, and we're going to pick up some raw materials to take back with us. And we're going to... I need a screwdriver to deconstruct. Alright, let's just smash away then. Alright, I'm going to use the advanced inventory menu. Again, I've got it set for all spaces around me and my personal inventory, and I'm just going to use the apostrophe key to grab everything. Say no to that. So apparently, look at how many rags and how much volume they take up. That one space has 46 rags in it with 11.5 volume, so way too much to carry. So we'll grab the nails, splintered wood. Oops, looks like not. We are already full up. So the sheet metal and all of the different materials from the oven and the refrigerator pretty much filled us up, plus the pillows are pretty bulky. But that got pretty much everything I needed for the moment. I might make one more trip home and back again. It's a pretty safe trip over. I'm going to do a fast move, and now it is truly nighttime. So, this is the limit of our vision during the nighttime. And this is with the night vision perk that I selected at the beginning, so if you can imagine, it's going to be even narrower of a viewing range if you don't have the night vision perk. Take a look at the map to orient ourselves, and keep moving up this way. Okay. Alright, there's our door, we're inside. We'll drop off some materials. All of that's going into our spare parts pile, along with the sheet metal. Going to drop the rubber hose up there. And I'm going to make a new pile right here for the pillows, the blanket. Okay. And I think we're back to just about where we started. Also going to drop our glass jar of water right there on our food pile. Okay, let's make one more trip. I do want to grab just a little bit more of the raw materials from that house before we settle in for the evening or decide to go out exploring again. Very dangerous to move this fast, by the way. I don't recommend it unless you've got some experience with the game. I'll pick up the rock on the way. Pulp and nothing useful. Alright, so let's grab the 2x4s, the splintered wood. Let's do this the quick way. Yeah, that's a lot of 2x4s, so it's going to take a lot of volume, so we're not going to get them all. I think I'd rather grab... grab 20 of the rags. And I think that pretty much put us at the limit. And right there, our volume's already hit the limit, so that's pretty much it. We may come back for some more of that later, but that got the things that I wanted to get for now. So run this stuff back to the base. Okay. A little further. There it is. Alright, close the door behind us, and we'll drop off some more parts. Okay, and while I've got the crowbar out, I'm just going to go ahead and smash apart the rest of this. Alright, we'll leave these benches for later. That'll give us enough raw materials to do what I want to do. Alright, notice how the lighting changes when I move up to those spaces? The reason for that is, when I'm away from the computer terminal, I've got the full range of my night vision. As soon as I step near the computer terminal where the light gets a little bit brighter, it spoils my night vision. So I have to get a little bit away from it. So that's why the view range is changing as I move closer to the computer. Alright, so what are we going to do? We're hungry and thirsty. Let's light our first fire indoors. So what I'm going to do is move lumber from our wood pile here up into the brazier. So I'm going to use the advanced inventory to do that. So on this left-hand side, I'm going to set... Right there is where the brazier is located. And on this side, we're going to pick where the wood pile is located. And I'm just going to tell it to move over. We'll do both heavy sticks. So now you can see the heavy sticks are right in the same space as the brazier. That's the only thing that needs to happen. Once the brazier's been placed correctly, you just drop wood products on top of it, and then we can set them on fire. And we'll just use our lighter for that. Light what direction? Always be very careful when you're lighting fires to make sure you light the correct direction. So light where? I want to light up in this direction, which is number 7 on my keyboard. And there we have a fire. And you can see that as the fire is burning, it's going to generate bright light right nearby. And this can be used for crafting, for reading, but the fire's not going to last a really long time with just that amount of wood in it. So what we're going to do now, though, is hit Shift 7 to bring up the crafting menu, switch over to the Food tab, and you'll see we've got a few options now because of the materials that we've got stockpiled nearby. We could cook up some vegetable seeds and stems, get cooked wild vegetables, and do some clean water. So I'm going to do clean water. Instead of pressing enter to just do a single piece, I'm going to hit B for batch, and I've only got 2 of the water available that I have in that glass jar we just used a bit ago. So I'm going to do the maximum, and now it's going to ask me what do I want to do with the clean water once it's cooked. I can either consume it directly, I can pour it into another container, or I can just dump it on the ground. I am thirsty at the moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and consume it, and still thirsty, consume it again. And I'm going to say yes to drink it anyway. Alright, so that's slaked our thirst. We're back to having no water available though, so ideally I would like larger containers. Like I'd mentioned, the gallon jugs are good for this kind of thing. It gives a lot more water that we can pull out of the toilets or other sources to boil up. But that'll take care of our immediate need. And let's go back to that food menu. Cooked wild vegetables. Let's go ahead and cook up the wild vegetables. We're going to do a batch. Cook all 4, and time does pass while we're cooking. The recipes that I'm bringing up, if you take a look, for example, this one takes 5 minutes. You got to be really careful when cooking, especially when cooking large quantities of things, that you don't set a cooking job that's going to take 2 days to finish. So cooked wild vegetables only took 4 minutes each, so if I made 4 of them, that's 16 minutes rolled through on the clock. So be aware of how much time is passing when you're doing crafting. And if I look at our inventory, we now have cooked wild vegetables. Notice there's still the blue category of a food item, and it's got a fresh and a hot modifier. Fresh, hot food is usually a good thing, and it's going to give you better bonuses and be more nutritious for you. So we're just going to hit the Shift E key to eat, and we're going to eat some of our cooked wild vegetables. And one more time. Alright, you'll notice here we now have a little green happy face, meaning our guy's happy. Our focus is slowly climbing. We're slaked, and we could probably eat one more vegetable to get the satiated status. And let's go ahead and do that. I'd like to eat them while they're still hot and fresh. So it says you'll not be able to finish it all. Usually it's pretty safe to do this. I'm just going to hit yes, and there we go. We're now full and slaked, which is exactly what we wanted. And we've still got one vegetable serving left, which we'll eat here in just a little bit. And otherwise, we're good to go. Anything else I want to craft while I've got the fire running? Another thing to realize about the fire, I mentioned it's only going to last a certain period of time. It's hard to tell exactly how long until you've done this a few times. But an important point is that when you start a crafting job, as long as you have the fire lit, it will complete the job. And what I mean by that is the fire might go out 5 minutes after I start crafting. Even if the crafting job is going to take 2 hours to complete, it will do so as long as you start in a lit status. So you don't have to keep the fire lit the entire length of time that the crafting job is going to occur. Alright, so let's bring back the crafting menu. I just want to take a quick browse through some of these options, see if there's anything offhand that I want to add to our inventory or arsenal before we do anything else. We got a few new options here. So makeshift sunglasses, sandals, shin guards, hand wraps, a keffiyeh or a turban, which would help us with our head. Actually, the keffiyeh is to cover our mouth. Not quite cold enough, I don't think, to worry about that yet. We could also make a bindle or a knapsack to help us carry additional inventory. They're very, very bulky, though. I'm going to hold off with that leather backpack we found. I think I've got enough for the moment that I'm not going to go to a lot of effort to get that stuff built. A tunic and a chest strap. I think we're okay for the moment. So you can see this list is really long. So a huge number of things that we could create, assuming we had the raw materials, the tools, and so on. There's a few other tools we need to get prepared or find before we really get into an amount of crafting of clothing and such. Usually I'll do that during the evening times if I'm not doing a mission outside the base. But for now, I think we're good. We're going to go ahead and close out of these menus. The fire you can leave unattended. The brazier makes sure that it will not spread or have any problems. It'll just go out on its own when a certain amount of time goes by. So I think what I'd like to do, I'd mentioned it before, I would love to be able to work my way over to this fire station. So if I move the cursor over, you can see that red F is a fire station. And just to the right of it is a gun store. Most likely we won't be able to get into the gun store quite yet. It's usually locked down, barred, doors locked, and you can't just pick it with a lockpick or things like that. There's specific ways you can get in, but we don't have a good, reliable way of doing it yet. We'll check it out once we get over there if we're able to, but most likely we won't be able to get in yet. Fire station, though, we can probably get in, and depending on how occupied it is with zombie firemen, hopefully we'll be able to get some good loot out of there. They usually have some really good items, and some good protective clothing. Next to that is an electronics store, which can also be very important. So my plan is we're going to move north about like so, then cut over to the east. I'm avoiding those blue H's, that's the power substation. I don't want to meet some of the zombies that usually spawn in there right yet, so I'm going to try to avoid them just by heading north for a bit, get a little ways away from that, and then cut over. Then we're going to cut south. I'm going to quickly check these two houses and then work my way around and down to see if I can get into these without attracting too much attention. So let's do it. Alright, now because I'm going to be moving into areas that I haven't moved through previously, I am going to have to be a little more cautious in my movement. So I'm not going to be doing the fast auto move, and I am going to turn on safe mode. Safe mode during the nighttime is very, very useful. Even if I did do fast move right now and I just held the key down, the instant anything dangerous stepped into my line of sight, the game would automatically stop moving for me. So it's actually relatively safe to do it in this movement mode. So we'll just do that for a short bit, and that's a big rock. Not quite far enough north. I'm going to go diagonal north now. And it may be hard for you to tell what direction I'm going with a zoomed-in view at night, but I'm working my way northeast. As you can see as I'm checking the map, I think we'll just go a little further northeast. And you can see we're starting to actually get some pretty severe cold messages over here. I'm going to have to pay attention to that. Maybe it would have been a good idea to try to get a little more protection on us before we left. So chilly legs and hands. Hopefully we can get into a building here pretty quick and cut down on this wind chill we're experiencing. Holy moly, spotted a shocker zombie. Alright, now this is important. Notice that there are no zombies showing up on my screen here. What's happened is a shocker zombie, which is a special type of zombie I really don't want to deal with right now, has been spotted. And how is that, since I can only see this much? Well, I've got the view zoomed way in. A shocker zombie actually generates its own light. It's filled with electricity that's crackling over it, and it's going to be further, probably down near that power substation that I'm trying to avoid. I'm going to zoom back out, and way over there he is, shocker zombie. Almost in the direction I'm going to be heading, unfortunately. Yeah, he's just north of the power substation, so that's why I was being cautious and not moving towards that. He shouldn't be able to see me. If I check on him now, he can't see me, and he's 53 spaces to my southeast. The good news is, because he's lit up the way he is, I can see him from a long way off, so he shouldn't be a problem to get around. So we're going to tell it that we're going to ignore that enemy. Is this a different shocker zombie? No. I said to ignore it. And we're just going to keep working our way over. Double check. Up, 2 shocker zombies. So, still 52 to our south. As long as they stay down there, I'm perfectly happy. And I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but these are the 2 red dots way down south on my mini-map. I'm just keeping an eye on those to make sure they're sliding away to the west as I'm heading east. Alright, I'm going to start working my way southeast now towards the first house. This is the advantage of going out at night. It's a little scarier seeming because you don't have very much of a sight range, and something could literally just step right into my space just a couple of spaces away. But the benefit is, same problem applies to the zombies and most of the monsters in the game. They can also not see you until you get pretty close, or if you make a lot of noise, or if you've got a lot of smell going on. Some of the wildlife animals have good senses of smell that can track you with. So let's take a look. We're closing in. I'm heading straight south now. We're trying to locate there. Whoa, alright. So Here's one hostile zombie. We got a fat zombie. It's hostile and uninjured. Hanging out right near the house. Let's check the V. He has spotted us, so we got close enough that he could see us. And I just noticed I've got my wrench wielded at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the run command. I'm going to go straight north for 4 or 5 steps. Let's turn off safe mode. And then we're going to wield our knife spear. And notice when I hit the wield command that it'll have a number of moves listed. That indicates how much time is going to go by while you fumble your way to switch out your weaponry or change gear and so on. So you want to be really careful. Make sure you've got a lot of space between you and any enemies before you execute certain actions or maneuvers, because if it takes a long time while you're swapping weapons, the zombie could step up and hit you 4 or 5 times, and that would be a very bad thing. So this was my error. I should have swapped out to a weapon before I got anywhere near this place, but that's how you learn. But now I've got the knife spear in my hand. I've still got my throwing sticks that I want to take more advantage of. And I'm working my way to the east. The zombies already lost track of us. This is the other benefit for going around at night. It's usually a lot easier to lose zombies. Let's hop the fence and another zombie. Alright. How are we going to deal with this? So there could be dozens of zombies in this area. This is the other end of town from where we had the minefield explosions earlier, so no telling what we've got in this area. Not too dangerous so far between the zombies I've seen. I think this one, I'm going to let him... Alright, we're going to throw a throwing stick at him. Hit him for 1, so only got a grazing hit. Let's throw another one. That one was for 11. That was a little better. I'm just going to keep tossing throwing sticks at him. We need to level up our throwing skill anyway. I am going to back up enough to maintain some distance. Alright, he should be pretty close to dead. He's heavily injured. He managed to get up next to us. I'm going to back off again, and then I'm going to stab him with the spear. And again, come on, there we go, got him. Examine his body, had a cash card with 234 cash monies, and, ooh, cargo pants. I love cargo pants. They don't fit and they're filthy, which I can't fix yet, so we're going to leave that for the moment. I am going to smash the body and pick up this rock that we happen to be next to. And I can hear the heavy breathing sound. My stamina is getting a little low, and I had it on run mode. So I switched it back to walk mode, and I'm going to go pick up my throwing sticks. And actually, to make this action a little easier, and it's a little hard to see these in the dark, I'm going to open my inventory up, go to my throwing sticks, press enter, and at the bottom of this menu, you'll see this option that says auto pickup, the plus key. I'm going to go ahead and select that, and what it's going to do is it's going to give a command to the system that anytime I step on a space with one of these throwing sticks, it will automatically pick it up for me, so I won't have to manually be giving commands to do it. So there's one just above me, and it picked it up. One right here, I think there's a couple here, there's one there. Started with 8, and I'm back to 8, so I got them all. Alright, let's take a look. Front door was unlocked. I'm going to close it behind me. We're going to kind of creep our way through this house. Got a basement. Pair of boots. We're going to leave. Broken computer. Pair of sneakers. Close that window and we can hear that zombie over there. Hopefully he didn't hear or see us. I can still hear him. Oh, he must know we're in here. So now he's making noise. That I don't like. Let's throw some stuff at him. 11 points. 17. Alright, here's something important. So if you look at the messages, it says good hit. You hit the fat zombie for 17 damage, and then your skill in throwing is increased to 1. And from the west you hear a thud. So that's why, another reason why I'm doing this is these are good practice opportunities for us to get our skills up. And how's he doing? He's heavily injured. I'm going to back up a space. I need to stay close enough that I can get good hits with my throwing stick, and you'll notice now this aiming window or bar is a lot fuller than it was before. Partially that's because my skill went up, partially it's the range to that particular monster. And what you're looking at here is, if you notice these symbols, we got asterisks and then pluses and then the lines. Here's what the symbols mean. An asterisk is a headshot, a plus is a standard hit, and the lines equal just a grazing hit. So it's going to roll basically randomly, and since I've got the entire bar filled up, you can figure out the percentages. That's about, what, maybe a 40% chance to graze, 40 or 45% chance to get a regular hit, and then a 5 or 10% chance to get a critical. So we're just going to go ahead and toss some more sticks. 12 points that time. He's heavily injured. He's not moving much, which is just fine by me. Alright, he's got to be almost dead now. Yep, nearly dead. Our last throwing stick here. Alright. Ooh, cash card with 6,400. That's more like it. Light jacket, pair of boots that fit. Cargo shorts. There's our 8 throwing sticks. We'll grab the long string, which is debris from the broken window. And I'm going to leave the rest of it. We're going to smash the corpse so he doesn't get back up again, and keep looking around. Alright, a talking doll. We saw this in another house, and I actually forgot to do something. You'll notice in brackets it says 20. Usually brackets like this with a number either indicates charges of battery power or ammo. And in this case it's a doll, a talking doll, so it's going to be batteries. So you'll see here it says 20 charges out of a maximum 100 charges of batteries. I don't want the doll, but I do want those batteries out of it, so I'm going to hit Shift U to unload. I'm going to pick the floor location where the talking doll's at, press enter, and it unloads the batteries from the doll. If I check my own inventory now, you'll see down here in spare parts, 20 units of battery power. We need as much battery power as we can get. Hopefully we can find a flashlight and some other utility items sometime in the near future that we can take advantage of. Another bathroom, and a towel. Cool, I wanted one of those. And a toilet with some water. Oh, there's another item there. So this is why I usually check toilets. I didn't actually notice it, but right here, if I zoom in, that is a bottle of medicine, bottle of aspirin. If I point at it, I can see it on the screen now, over right in the box. It'll say aspirin and water. So, but I almost missed it. So I'm going to cancel that menu, and I'm going to pick up the aspirin. Inventory. Alright, I should have brought that empty glass jar to fill up again. I keep forgetting the simple things. Alright, let's keep exploring. We don't have any pain conditions. The chilly condition is okay. We're not out in the wind at the moment, so the cold is not affecting us too terribly. So let's keep looking. Going to another part of the house. We've got the kitchen. Screwdriver set. Well, anybody that's coming back from the last episode knows I'm going to be happy about that. I've been desperately hoping for a screwdriver set, so that's another critical tool that we really needed. So this is going to allow me to disassemble things. Like in last episode, I was hoping to disassemble some seat belts from a car, so that's great. I'm definitely taking both of those. And what else do we have here? Set that to all. Got a glass bottle of hydrogen peroxide. Cool. And we'll set that side to our personal inventory. We're taking the peroxide, and we'll take the plastic bottle of coffee syrup. Even if I don't make coffee out of it, I can empty it and use the plastic bottle. I'm going to leave the frying pan. Nothing else here. And close the windows. I think that is everything in the house. Oh, except for the basement. Let's go check the basement. What kind of basement did we get? No, those look like cargo pants, and those are going to be clean because they're not coming off a zombie corpse. Oh, that sure looked like cargo pants to me. Wool scarf. Alright, we'll take it. So this is a furnished entertainment basement. So it's an entertainment room. Back here we'll have a washroom. Double check to make sure there's nothing but water here. Should be a bar down this way with some liquor usually. Plastic bag of uncooked burrito. Alright. And a glass bottle of brandy, 21 units. Cool. Definitely take that. Okay. And we've got a pool ball. Those can be pretty good throwing objects, but with the throwing sticks, I'm not going to bother carrying that. This will be a laundry room. What do we got? A leather belt. And I don't think we have one, and it can be disassembled for leather patches, I believe. So we'll go ahead and take that. A mop and a jean jacket that fits. Cool. So checking our inventory, we've got jeans, a long sleeve shirt, winter boots. We've got a winter coat already. The winter coat's keeping our torso pretty warm and probably our arms. The jeans jacket, if we try to put it on in addition to that, we'd be pretty heavily encumbering our torso. I'll take the jacket with us, but probably not going to wear it immediately. We'll reevaluate that later. So, empty room. Good to know. Alright, checking the map real quick. This house is pretty much fully explored. I'm going to hit Shift E, which means it gives the command, as listed over here, to toggle the explored status. So now the arrow, instead of being a green arrow, is just a kind of a flat gray arrow. And I'm going to do the same thing for these houses here, because I've already explored and looted them as well. I never went into that. That's an office building. We're going to pop across the street and check this, and probably call this particular episode at that point, if we can get a clean movement over there. Back out on the winds. Whoa, hello! Alright, apparently there is a vehicle over here that some zombies are smashing up for some reason. So, let's work our way north. They're doing some pretty good smashing away over there. Occasionally you'll run into vehicles that are still running, so the engine is making noise, and zombies are attracted to any kind of noise, and that's what they are going after. They're going to work their way right through the hull of that car. Alright, I'm going to go to the back side of the building, see if I can find a window on the back side that I can pry open. So I'm going to examine the window. You pry but cannot open the window. I'm looking at that message here. We're going to try again. There we go. So we pry it open. It does make a small amount of sound, but a lot less than if we just tried to smash our way through. Alright, so we're in. Alright, there's a fun item to find. Right there. A pair of rollerblades. They're pretty entertaining. You can actually increase your movement speed if you use rollerblades, as long as you're on nice, flat, even terrain. After that, if you try to use them on difficult terrain, you can run into some problems. Ooh, utility vest. It's got some storage space, coverage, warmth. And it fits. We're definitely going to take that. The long sleeve shirt we'll take. We might end up just chopping that up. I think I'm just going to butcher or cut up the rollerblades. So we got 7 rags and 7 plastic chunks. I believe that's just a blanket. We're going to leave that alone. And see what else we can find here. Let's move, close that window. What I'm worried about is the zombies that were tearing apart the car over here somewhere. I'm worried that some of them might be close enough to an exterior window on that side of the house that they spot me when I move over towards it. Hopefully that doesn't happen, and I'm gonna be happy guy again, because there we've got a gallon jug of cooking oil. So as you might remember, I've been looking for gallon jugs, so that is awesome. Happy to see that. So we are going to grab the gallon jug. Oops, destination area is full. We're gonna have to make some choices here. I am going to drop a few things. Get rid of the rags. I can easily replace those elsewhere. What else can we get rid of? Some of these things I'm carrying are taking up a bunch of space. Let's get rid of the long sleeved shirt. I can replace the rock elsewhere. See, it's amazing how quickly your volume disappears. That's why I've said from the very beginning that that volume number is super important, and you want to do everything you can to mitigate that. I think I'm going to go ahead and put on this jean jacket temporarily. I'm not even going to put on the utility vest. We're just going to load ourselves up. Now, notice over here, it says your torso is very encumbered, dodging and melee is hampered. What does that mean? Well, here's what it means. If I open this up, that's our character sheet, which is the Shift 2 command, and I hit Tab. The center column of this area, this is the encumbrance and warmth information, and you'll see torso. This is the encumbrance value for each location. So my torso is heavily encumbered, 39 plus 5. The plus 5 is an additional encumbrance that's added on as a penalty because I'm wearing multiple items that are on the same layer of clothing. And I'll get into more details about that in the next episode, probably. I just wanted to point out that red is bad, yellow you want to pay attention to, it's getting to the edge of bad, gray is great, meaning you're not encumbered at all. And then this is the warmth factor, so you can see our head at minus 31 and our legs at minus 30 are highlighted in blue, meaning they're the coldest, and they're ones I want to pay attention to, and also our hands are right on the borderline there. So that's what that's indicating, is the warmth scale. There's another screen I'll come to in the next episode that's going to detail this more, and I'll show you how to deal with that, but it's a bit of a conversation. But while I'm highlighting this, notice here, melee attack rolls, basically that added up equals a negative percentage to our to-hit rolls. So we're minus 44% to melee attack rolls, our dodge skill is lower, melee and thrown attacks cost more movement points, so if I try to throw my throwing sticks it's going to cost more. The reason I'm doing this is I'm on a looting run. I would rather avoid a fight if I can, so I'm going to just try to run away from things while I do a loot run here. So all I want to do is increase my weight or volume carrying capacity, and by putting those extra clothes on, I've bumped it up to 24. So now that I've done that, we're going to go back into advanced inventory. We're going to grab that gallon jug, grab the bag of fruit leathers, another uncooked burrito, some red sauce. The rest of that we're going to stay, and we're going to leave here. Alright, let's try to finish up this house real quick. I can hear those zombies outside. Plastic bottle of mustard. I'll probably empty that out just for the bottle. I'm going to kind of speed run through this house. You can pause if you want to take a look at something as I'm running around. I'm just grabbing things. I'll holler if I see something in particular. Motorcycle helmet. Very high encumbrance, but also very, very protective of your head location. So I know reasons why you would want to take it, but I'm going to leave it here for now. Let's check this door. Utility room. Oops, and a broken window I need to be careful of. Some calcium tablets. Let's grab the long string. Always want to do that. Nothing there but water, a broom, and a mop. We'll close that door so they can't see me through that broken window. Check these books. Nothing special there. Dress shoes I'm not interested in. I'll close those windows. Whoa! Alright, there's an example of getting a little too fast. Now I have a big problem. Okay, so this just got more exciting. Unfortunately, I'm gonna put a little bit of cliffhanger in here. Look at this message. I'll read it. It says, the zombie grabs you. The zombie bites your left arm, but fails to penetrate the armor. Well, because I loaded up on a bunch of clothing, I've now got multiple layers and protective layers on certain parts of my body, so that's what protected me here. He actually bit my arm, but he failed to penetrate the protection value of my various layers of clothing on the arm slot. So that part was great, but he grabbed me, meaning I can't move until I break that grab, and I'm so heavily encumbered that it's going to be really hard for me to actually swing and hit him. So I've got a bit of a problem. And if I start fighting him, it may attract more zombies. So this is going to get interesting, but I'm going to put a pause in here. I'm going to continue on the next episode here shortly. So appreciate you following along and watching the series. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Please give it a like if you're enjoying yourself, and hopefully subscribe. I've got a lot of other episodes coming up, and I've got a couple of other games I'm planning on starting a series on as well. So hope to see you in the future. Have a good day. Bye-bye.